Hi friends, welcome back to Julia in the Garden. Today I'm planting one of my favorite perennials, and that is Heuchera or coral bells. This is a Primo Black Pearl Heuchera from Proven Winners, and I'm going to be planting a little swoop or mini hedge back here around this arborvitae tree. Hopefully you can see there in the screen, this is right next to where we planted one of the little hedges of boxwoods in a recent video. I'll have that linked here. That was a lot of work, but I love how they look. So the idea is that they will, where the boxwood hedge starts, we'll have a little mini hedge or swoop of the Heuchera. So let me just tell you a little bit more about the Heuchera. Heuchera in general are an amazing plant. So they have beautiful foliage. It comes in all different shades. So this is one of the darkest ones. It might be the darkest one. And it's kind of like a deep purple here, and it can get to almost black. There's lots of other purples colors. There's even orange. There's like different color greens, from like a chartreuse green to like a more muted green. It's an absolutely beautiful plant. Now, a lot of Heucheras prefer shade. They can get burned really easily, but the darker the leaves, the more sun they can take. So this one is actually sun or shade, which is incredible. This area here gets part shade, so it gets morning sun and afternoon shade. So yes, I'm hoping it will be very happy here. So sun or shade, it mounds to, I think it's at 8 to 10 inches tall, but I think that might be with the bloom stalks. So it creates like a nice little mound of foliage that stays nice all season long, and then it gets these bloom stalks, and I think like late spring, early summer is the timing where they the stalks pop up in these little airy flowers. So this one has, I think, creamy flowers, creamy colored flowers, and there's a dark foliage. Other colors, like you could get like green with pink flowers. There's lots of different options. For spacing, it says 26 to 30 inches wide, which is pretty big for one plant. I'm gonna plant them closer together than that because I kind of want them all to grow together into one continuous swoop, if you will. So I'm gonna probably plant them closer to 18 inches apart. They're hardy in zones 4 through 9, so that's down to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm in a zone 5, so we should be good. In warmer zones, they might keep their foliage and color all year round. For me, I have a couple of Heucheras so far in the landscape, and I found that they die all the way back and then come back with fresh growth in the spring. And if you are in a place where they have this evergreen, the old leaves might just look a little tattered in the spring, so you can just cut the tattered leaves off. Some of these are looking a little rough. This is actually the best. This is the plant with the most new growth on it. I pulled of the ones I have to show you, and so I'm just going to cut any tattered growth off of other ones and let them flush out with new growth. It was apparently the 2018 Perennial of the Year for Proven Winners, and this year there's a different Heuchera. I believe it's a Perennial of the Year. I think it's the Wild Rose or Wild Berry. I think those are two different kinds they have. So many beautiful options. Okay, today though we're focusing on getting the Black Pearl in the ground, so let me show you what tools I'm going to use. Okay, I'll be using a couple things today. I do have my Felco pruners on hand to cut off any of the foliage I want to cut off. Get that in my pocket. I have some digging instruments. It's not fancy, just, you know, simple trowel, and this is a garden knife or hori-hori, and I find it very useful. I've got my gardening gloves, which I'm not always the best at wearing, but it does help keep my hands cleaner and protect them, so I will try to wear those. And I've got some Biotone starter fertilizer. So I like to use this one when I'm planting plants because it has stuff in it that helps with root growth. So I will be putting just a little, and that's another reason I always wear gloves when I'm dealing with fertilizer, so I have my gloves for this as well. I almost forgot to tell you about another tool I'm going to use. So these are some sticks, and I had these measured out when I planted the boxwood hedge. So this allows, if I stick it between two of the cans, it allows them to be 18 inches apart on center, so it's a little less than that itself. But I haven't measured for that for spacing purposes. And I may fudge it a little bit. I'm going to use it to kind of as a starting guideline. I'm not sure how many I'm going to put. And then I have a couple sticks. This one is a smaller one. These were both used for spacing away from the brick. So I think I'm going to use the bigger one, which is 10 inches away from my edging, my brick edging, and it'll come over and it'll be fine. I can trim it or set it back as necessary. So that's what I've got for that. And that way it'll kind of be even with where the boxwoods are and come out, and like hopefully the boxwoods will kind of just merge into the Heucheras. I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my spacing sticks to kind of lay out how I want. I'm not sure if I'm using actually all of these that I have here, and if I don't, that's fine. I am sure I will find another place to put the other ones. So this is closer than 18 inches apart. And I think I'm just going to leave it like that because I would like it to be one mass of heuchera just growing right around there. I think it just looks so pretty next to the arborvitae there and next to the boxwood. And the hydrangea also has that green. There's just a lot of green going on back there. And I think this deep color really sets it off. So I decided to just go with 5. I probably could do 1 or 2 more continue along that edge, and I might add that later, but I think for right now I'm not 100% what I want to do there. I might want to do a different perennial or shrub. I think this year I'm going to stick annuals there. So yeah, I'm just going to leave that for right now. I have the 2 more. I have other places I could put them, or if I decide to at some point this summer, I could just pop them in there. So I do have landscape fabric here, so I'm going to be getting some scissors to cut the holes. I tried burning them last time. It was too moist and didn't work. So I'm just going to get the scissors, and I will be using a little bit of garden soil, most likely, depending on how the soil is when I get in there, because we do have a pretty heavy clay soil. So just to amend the hole as I'm planting. And yeah, I'm just going to go and see how fast I can get this done. So there is the little swoop. I'm still so excited about the boxwoods there. Yeah. So I took off quite a bit of the leaves, and some of them actually fell off too as I was planting. And I think that's actually going to be fine. I think it'll leave them so that they can have more root development and focus on that. See, this one looks like it's coming off too. I'm just gonna, there we go. So hopefully having fewer and fresher leaves, they should push new growth, and yeah, it'll be fresher looking, and hopefully they'll also be able to focus on growing some roots because they'll need to do that. And I'm just so thrilled with how it looks with the boxwoods and everything. It's really, I think it really elevates the space and is more of what I envisioned, or at least getting a lot closer to what I envisioned. So go ahead and subscribe if you're interested in seeing how these grow throughout the gardening season. I am going to be trying to do some around the house garden bed tours along with my potager, berry garden, and orchard tours this year. Hopefully you enjoy planting videos because there is much more to plant this year, as well as a lot of other work to be done. As always, I am so excited to be out here in the garden. I hope you are having a wonderful day as well. Happy gardening, friends.